Naturally, after a performance like he had this past Saturday night, the next thought becomes, what's next for Canelo Alvarez? Here's the pound-for-pound king following his stoppage of Billy Joe Saunders when discussing his next step at becoming undisputed at 168 with our own Chris Mannix.
You have the best trainer, you are the best fighter, and now you have 3 pieces of the 168-pound title. There's one more to go. Is Caleb Plant who you want next?
That's the plan. That's the plan to go for the belt, and I'm coming, man. I'm coming, my friend.
Do you think you can do you think that fight can be made?
I hope so. I hope that fight made easy, and then give the fans that fight and the first Mexican unified fighter in the history.
This is what he's been preaching since 168, wanting to unify. It's no surprise that Caleb Plant, Barak, is the guy that he wants to fight. We've heard Caleb Plant say that he wants to fight Canelo Alvarez. Not lately, though, but we've heard that in the past. So will the politics in boxing, though, allow that fight to happen? I believe so, Barak, because guess what? Canelo's a free agent.
Well, first off, I want to say, if Errol Spence moved up to 154 and said, I want to unify this entire division, I want to be undisputed, he would get nothing but praise. Why? Because that's an incredible feat, moving up in weight and conquering everybody in that division if he can, or at least trying. And that's even leaving Terrence Crawford on the table, because you're doing something that's even greater, moving up in weight and fighting the champions at that division. That's what Canelo's doing. Why are we still mentioning middleweights? I don't know. Let the middleweights fight each other, and then the best middleweight fight the best super middleweight. That's how it always should be. Become undisputed in middleweight, become undisputed in super middleweight, and then fight each other. Now, I don't know why I had to say that get that off my chest. It came out of nowhere, seriously. Now,
Well said.
as far as the politics, I think that kind of like Luis Ortiz, you know, when he had the offer to fight Anthony Joshua, we thought, you know, everybody probably thought it was the politics because he turned it down. He turned down millions of dollars. We was like, whoa, you never made that. Why are you turning it down? So we was like, oh, politics are involved or whatever. Oh, he's on the other side of the street. And then all of a sudden, Andy Ruiz came and said,
I'll take that.
I'm moving out of my mother's bedroom with my family. I'm taking that money. You know, so, and I think that's what it is now. And it's not just money for Caleb Plant. I think it's opportunity to be great. Opportunity to be great. Now, the only problem, now I think he wants it, so he's gonna fight for it no matter what. The only problem I see are the networks.
Now, the networks obviously are going to be a problem, but when you got guys like Eddie Hearn, who is promoting Canelo Alvarez, well, he had a 2-fight deal with him, which was up with the Billy Joe Saunders fight, but they have a great relationship. Canelo's already gone on record saying that I can see myself working with Eddie Hearn for the rest of my career, right? That's a good sign. And look what Eddie and Matchroom delivered, and Dazn delivered this past Saturday night. Record-breaking crowds, an amazing event. So I like to believe and I like to think that Canelo would still be working with Eddie Hearn after this. Now, we don't know about that other side. Caleb Plant has complained about time. That's not going to be an excuse this time. He has more than enough time to prepare for a fight for September. He's in the same weight class. Like, to your point, Barak, an opportunity to unify the division and become undisputed himself. He's chasing legacy himself. I don't see any issues because Canelo's already made it clear when he exited the deal with Golden Boy. Even though he's working with Eddie Hearn, it's not a long-term deal. So I believe that Canelo's going to do whatever it takes to unify that division, even if it means fighting on another network.
Right, and even if he does fight on another network, he could still fight
on the Matchroom. But with all that being said, and I think Caleb Plant is a hell of a fighter, an extreme talent. I'm not sure, Barak, that he's at the Errol Spence one-time A-B type of status with Al Haymon and PBC. And you know what I mean when I say that. Part of that small bunch that Al would not allow to go anywhere else. But he did with Andy Ruiz. He's done it with other Al Haymon fighters. I believe that Al would allow Caleb Plant to take advantage of the opportunity to fight Canelo Alvarez wherever it may be, even if it's on the zone.
I think maybe sometimes people make it sound like, Al Haymon is just totally in charge of your career and you have to do what he says. I think it's a trust thing. Somebody who's brought them from the bottom to the top. So they have trust and they appreciate his suggestions. So if he suggests something, I think they would tend to do that. And I think that Al Haymon would want Caleb Plant to have such a great opportunity. And no matter how good that performance was by Canelo, I believe Caleb Plant is one of those guys that doesn't look at it and say, oh man, that he looks dangerous. I don't want that fight. I think he looks like and says, well, he looks even more dangerous, and that means that can only improve my legacy if I'm able to beat him.
Here's another fella, middleweight, that wants a slice of Canelo Alvarez. Now, this is a fight that we all want to see, but he's at middleweight. I'm talking about Jamal Charlo, who says he puts out a tweet or an Instagram post, F the money, F the fame, F the networks. He says this fight needs to happen now. Boxing needs this fight to happen. Now, yes, boxing would love this fight to happen. Canelo doesn't need this fight to happen because he is chasing undisputed crown at 168. And guess what? Jamal Charlo doesn't have a strap at 168. He's a 160-pound champion. But Canelo has gone on record saying that he would like to fight Jamal Charlo. He's even gone on to saying that he would like to fight Errol Spence. And I'm saying this for a reason, because Canelo wants to fight the best fighters in the world and the ones that make the most business sense. So for whatever reason, Canelo Alvarez feels that Boo Boo Andre doesn't make business sense. Not to mention he doesn't hold the strap at 160, and he doesn't feel that it would be an exciting fight. I want to say that because I've been talking a lot on Instagram today. Right, at 168. And he's a 160 pounder. So a lot of people want the sweepstakes. You heard Canelo on the footage on Instagram that went viral. Payday, payday. I know you want a payday. Of course these fighters want a payday. That's what they're in it for, and that's why, Canelo signs the big deals. He wants those big checks, man. I don't see a problem with this Caleb Plant fight, Barak. I think it's going to happen. And I don't know, for some reason, Barak, I think it's going to happen on the zone.
As concerning Jamal Charlo, first of all, I thought Canelo was going to say, payday, yeah, that's me. Shout out to Haha Davis on Instagram. But as concerning Jamal Charlo, I love that he said that. I love that he says, yo, F everything. I just want this fight. Let's make this fight happen. I just think it's a little too late. I kind of think it's like we always wanted to see Katie Taylor versus Amanda Serrano, but it couldn't happen for whatever reason. Amanda feel like she was being valued by the money that they was offering her. So what did she say? I'm gonna be undisputed at 126. So now she has dreams and aspirations of becoming undisputed at 126. So if anybody brings up Katie now, it's like, that's nice. Of course I want to fight her, but not now. Right now, I'm trying to do this. Why? Because a list came out, ESPN's list came out, and they had these other 3 women ahead of me. One was McCaskill, who didn't fight as many people as I have, didn't have as many titles as I've had in so many divisions, but she was undisputed. And she feels like if she becomes undisputed, then she'll be maybe at the top of that list, or maybe a pound for pound great. And that's what she's chasing now. So I think it's just a little bit too late. And I think we should honor Canelo in saying, I want to be undisputed at any weight class.